Hi, everyone. It is time for another round of the Edward Jones chatting cage. You see me in the cage, ready to fire up the pitching machine. We set it up for Freddie Freeman, two-time All-Star of the Atlanta Braves. Freddie, I know it's a bit of a thunderous, rainy day, but thanks from me personally and from the fans for taking time out to be with us. Are you ready to handle some cuts here in the cage?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, away we go. I'm going to start on Twitter and fans. If you can see me, fire up that webcam, get in line, and join us right here in the Edward Jones chatting cage. I'm going to go to Pitches Stitch 998 first. This is like a technical question. Freddie, do you see the shift a lot as a hitter, and how do you like to hit against it?
I don't see it very often, just a couple teams. I do see it, but most of the time you can't really worry about that. If you try and worry about the shift, trying to hit it the ball the other way, sometimes they're going to be pitching you a completely different way. So you just try to forget the shift and try to hit the ball hard because you can't really put the ball where you want to when the guy's throwing 95 miles an hour.
It's not exactly the rec league softball game that might be for the rest of us.
No.
This is the Edward Jones chatting cage. That's Freddie Freeman taking your questions. Folks, fire up your webcam, be a part of it, just like this fan right here. What's your name? Where you're from? What's your question for Freddie?
Hey Freddie, I'm Colin Chartier from Winnipeg, Canada, and I'm wondering who's better at giving hugs, you or Big Papi David Ortiz?
That's a good one. Last year at the All-Star game, I was able to get one from him, and he's a big man, so big people that give hugs are pretty nice and warm. So I'm going to go with him. He's been doing it a lot longer than me, so I'll give him that title.
It was an excellent question. Thanks for being a part of the chatting cage there. That's a great one. Who gives the better hugs, Freddie Freeman or Big Papi? Freddie, I like that you give the tip of the cap to the grizzled veteran, the hug guy.
Yeah, it's got to.
We go back now to Twitter. This is from Bam Bam 101. Who taught you how to hit, Freddie?
I would have to just say my dad. It's growing up, I had two older brothers that loved playing baseball too, so he kind of just taught me how to do it, and I've been the same way since I've been in Little League, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. So it's not broken yet, so give me a couple of years and maybe I'll listen to someone else and start changing it up. But I've just been my dad taught me when I was a young kid, and I've just been doing it ever since.
That's a great story, and good to know that. And I love the theory: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if Dad helped out, it's probably gone a long way thus far to make it work. This is the Edward Jones chatting cage. Fans, you are the key. What's your name? Where you from? What's your question for Freddie?
Hey, I'm Nick Penny from Raleigh, North Carolina. What's the best and worst part about living next to Chipper Jones?
Well, the best part is, the fact that it was this off season, he was able to come get me on a four-wheeler in the snowstorm. So that was the best part. The worst part is maybe getting shot by a gun when he's out there hunting in the backyard. That's the worst part. But having him next to me, it's pretty cool to get some advice. Come pop over to his house every once in a while. It's just definitely nice to have a future Hall of Famer next to you.
That's not a bad deal. If you are going to play baseball and you want good neighbors, future Hall of Famer isn't a bad one to go. And if you can avoid getting shot, though.
Got to avoid those deer. Don't act like a deer out there.
This is the advice you get in the Edward Jones chatting cage, kids, that you don't get anywhere else, by the way. This from Fan for Life, 223. Freddie, did you play any other sports growing up?
I did. I played football when I was a young kid until I kind of hit a growth spurt, and I was only like 11 years old. I would have to play as like 15, 16 years old, and my dad didn't want me to get killed, so I stopped playing football then, and I played basketball all the way up until high school, and I had to travel so much for baseball during the summertime that I couldn't do any high school basketball camps, so I stopped there, and obviously I played golf, and I still do that to this day.
That seems to be the good combo of sports once you get there to the majors, is playing golf alongside that baseball season. Works out pretty well.
Yeah.
We have another fan in the cage. What's your name? Where you from? What's your question for Freddie?
Kyle Davis. I'm from Charleston, Georgia, right down the road from you, Freddie.
Yep.
How does it feel coming off a 0-8 road trip with the Nationals coming back? I know y'all got Strasburg tonight. How do you take that approach?
Yeah, well, we got obviously we did have a tough road trip, and you never want to do that. But I think that you can take the positive out of it that we get to face the Nationals this weekend and give us a chance to get back into it. You know, we're only 4.5 games out, and we usually play the Nationals pretty well. So hopefully, with the day off yesterday, everybody could just regroup, relax, and try and forget about that road trip and come in firing today. You know, we got a tough homestand, but you know, this is where good teams come out on top, and hopefully we can do that this weekend.
This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Just like fans like that, you can be part of the show and ask Freddie Freeman questions directly. We also use Twitter. But Freddie, I want to follow up on that in particular. It's, you know, a tough question from a fan, but there's two sides to every story. Every great streak is sort of matched, hopefully by not an equal slump. But for you, at the level you've been at, two-time All-Star, what is it that keeps your work engaged? What keeps you working harder to be better each and every day? And how do you stay grounded in that?
I think every single day, it's you don't know who's going to be watching you for the first time, so you want to go out there and play hard every single day and keep grinding out at bats. Even though you're not going to be your best every single day, you got to keep going out there and grinding until something clicks and you start getting those positive streaks that we need to get on soon. But you know, you got to keep coming in working hard because you know, you got 24 other guys in that clubhouse that are counting on you to give it your all every single day, and I think that's what drives everybody to keep going every single day.
Well, that's a great answer. Thanks to that one. I hadn't thought about it in that framework of, we know you have the clubhouse and the team has your back, but the idea that who's watching you for the first time is something that might affect how people feel about you and how they root or don't root for the Braves. Thank you for that answer.
Exactly.
We have another fan in the cage right now. What's your name? Where are you from? What's your question for Freddie?
Hey, Freddie. Mike from Michigan. Just wondering, which Upton brother is funnier?
I would have to go with, I don't know. They got their own different personalities, but, you know, Justin's pretty out there, pretty hilarious, and Melvin likes to dance a lot, so he's funny when he dances and stuff. So they got different personalities. It's hard to pick and choose which one's funnier because they're both got great personalities and bring a lot of energy and a lot of fun to our clubhouse and the team.
That must be quite the experience, having two brothers that's special side by side in the clubhouse.
Yeah. When they have their uniforms on, you see an Upton walk through the dugout with one body type, and then another Upton walks through, and it's a completely different body type. It's just funny how Justin's a bigger of the two, and BJ's like skinny and shredded, you know. Yep. So it's definitely fun to watch.
There's a glitch in the matrix. We have another fan in the cage right now. What's your name? Where you from? What's your question for Freddie Freeman?
This is Ron from Georgia, and my question for Freddie would be, I've watched a lot of baseball in my life, and usually it seems like the number 5 to be behind in the standings is kind of hard to overcome. How do you feel about the Braves' chances of overcoming the 4.5 game deficit to make postseason or win the division?
I think we have a good chance because just like I said earlier, we're playing the first place team this weekend, and this is our chance to get back in it. We're 4.5 games back of the Nationals, and we got a 3-game set. So if we come out here and play well, we can get ourselves right back into it. And I think if we didn't get to play the Nationals for a while, I think that's the hardest part, is overtaking a team when you don't play them very often. But we got the chance to play them this weekend, and hopefully we can play well and get back into this race.
Well, folks, some great questions from the fans, some awesome questions from Twitter as well. And Freddie, do you feel like you made good contact, good solid hits here in the chatting cage?
I did. This was actually a lot of fun for me.
All right, we're glad to hear that. It was, I know on behalf of fans and myself, very grateful for you taking the time out of a rainy day to get in the dugout and talk to us. Thank you for that. I want to thank everybody who joined us, and we'll see you next time on another round of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage.